Well, if you were all wondering what was in that big-ass box I opened up in my previous video, here it is. This is the Tornado Model 98995 16-gallon T-Lite industrial vacuum cleaner. It uses a 2 1/4 continuous horsepower blower motor that draws 15 amps and produces 184 cubic feet per minute of air. As you can see by the serial number, this machine was produced in January, so it's only a few months old, and it is brand new. I'm the first person to have ever taken it out of the box or to have used it. It uses a large external filter collection bag and works on the same principle as a Spencer central vacuum, which basically means that there is no filter in the tank. All the large debris goes in the tank and the finer dust is sucked through the fan and goes into the external filter bag. I added a synthetic HEPA bag to the tank as, you know, being OCD as I am, I don't want the external filter bag to get any kind of dirt in it as long as I can help it. You know, I want this machine to stay in mint condition, and, you know, even though I'm going to use it, would you know, like to have that extra filtration as well as, you know, keep it the least dirty. The fan is cast aluminum, or I believe the fan's cast aluminum. It's very similar in shape to a Dyson digital motor fan, except it's only about 8 to 9 inches in diameter. The blower housing is, I know, sand cast aluminum and is painted yellow, and I believe both the hose, or the inlet on the tank, and the mount for the external filter are sand cast aluminum as well. It rides on a relatively large dolly. In fact, the whole machine is fairly big. That's a full-size dishwasher and a full-size washing machine right next to it, just for reference, and you can see some of my other vacuums in the back. This thing does take up an obscene amount of space. The dolly's pretty substantial. It has two large, probably about 9-10 inches in diameter rear wheels. They kind of look like giant NSS M1 pig wheels. It has some guide wheels on the side. That way it won't, you know, mark any kind of walls or anything. And you have two swivel casters in the front as well. The external filter bag just attaches with a strap and has this kind of clamp at the bottom. I guess you can empty it. It's kind of a convenient tool caddy on the back. And in the rectangular box that I showed in my previous video, the long box, and that was the attachment kit, which included a 1.5 inch by 10 foot crush-proof hose, which is pretty substantial. Has a pretty solid metal positive locking connector on the machine end. You pull this button up to release that, and a nice painted aluminum wand, also with a positive locking connection for any kind of attachments you use. The rug tool is polypropylene, I believe, or some kind of, you know, some kind of plastic material, maybe ABS. I'm not sure if we mold it or not, but it is plastic and it is positive locking as well. Also included in the attachment kit were the squeegee floor tool, crevice tool, which is plastic, nothing to write home about, but it is pretty substantial. And probably my favorite attachment, the sand cast aluminum dusting brush. Definitely sand cast aluminum, very neat. I had no idea sand cast aluminum vacuum attachments were still in production and still very widely available, but evidently they are. The design of this machine is fairly old. I've seen Tornado blower motors on eBay that date as far back as the 1950s and really have not changed much from this design. They've just been modernized a little bit. So it's a pretty neat machine, and is a lot of fun to use, and is obscenely powerful, and as you're about to hear, is also obscenely noisy. But it's a great machine to use. Here we go. And it's also fun to use this in conjunction with my variable auto transformer, because you can turn it down to as low as, 54 volts, and it kind of sounds neat running at a lower voltage. Or if you really want to crank it down, you can go down to about 36 volts. So that's kind of fun to play with, but again, that's just me liking different, liking the ability to vary the incoming voltage to any machine, such as this one. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and show you how this machine does on the Baird meter, in case you did not believe that it moved 184 cubic feet per minute of air. But I hope you enjoyed this, and just thought I'd make a video of something you really do not see very often at all. The Tornado 2¼ horsepower, 16-gallon industrial vacuum cleaner.